after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
Hello, lollygaggers. Another week on tap here at Lollygagging Sports. I am Bo Reed along with Samantha Bunton and Matthew Irby, and apparently Mike Gundy. Oh, no, you know what? It's fine. I'm gonna leave it. Samantha, how you doing?
I'm good. I like the new Mike Gundy intro. I demand that we now use that every week.
Okay, that might get a little old.
No, I
No?
don't think so.
No,
No, I will. I guarantee you, I personally will never get tired of that.
Irby, how about you? We'll make this all democratic and all.
Oh, well, if you're doing that, then we're definitely doing it. Because I'm on board hearing Mike Gundy It's just the phrase, come after me, and that's a great way to start. Yeah, but do you have the other one ready to go, Bo? You got our other soundbite ready to go? Because you know what today is? 22 years ago today, Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl came out on theaters.
Look what I got. I got a jar of dirt. I got a jar of dirt. And guess what's inside it?
There you go.
Granted, that line is not actually from Pirates of the Curse of the Black Pearl, but whatever. Doesn't matter.
No.
It should be a national holiday.
It should. Now I've got to figure out.
2 years ago.
I've got
2 years ago.
I've got exactly 2 more sound bites on this board. Now I've got to figure out a way to get them in here so we can have a clean sweep. All 4. So if you hear some surprise sound effects, that's all I'm trying to do is pitch a perfect game.
I think there's one. Well, there's one I know you could use somehow in the rapid fire. I'm not sure what the 4th one is, but I guess we'll find out.
All right, well, we're going to talk some baseball, some all-stars, some not all-stars, I should say. All kinds of fun. So, Samantha, you want to kick us off a little rapid fire?
Yeah, let's do it. 10 questions. These guys don't get any time to think about it. They don't get any time to explain themselves. You can play along at home if you would like. They will have the opportunity to come back and explain one of their answers at the end of this. Here we go. All-star final selections. Biggest snub. Let's start in the American League. Who you got?
Well, I know this is going to be a homer pick, but I'm really shocked Nate Eovaldi didn't make it. That surprised me.
I think I agree with that. Yeah. Irby?
I'm trying to think how I can do different from that and everything.
You can just agree. It's okay.
Yeah, I'll just have to agree. Yeah.
Okay, I don't disagree with that, but I'm going Ernie Clement. I am big mad about this because dude's batting almost 300. He's been an absolutely critical member of a Blue Jays team that literally cannot lose. And you want to know why he didn't get into that game? Because he wasn't on the ballot. And you want to know why he wasn't on the ballot? Oh, it's not because he didn't have enough at-bats. It's because he played too many positions, and they didn't know where to put him. So by virtue of being a very versatile player, he was left off the All-Star ballot because he's too versatile.
That makes sense.
I think it's crap.
Here's one.
Yeah.
There you go.
I was trying to time it. But
I think we can get the last one, too. All right, National League.
I did. But first, I absolutely 100% agree with you. I would have given you a Mike Gundy, but we already did that.
Oh, yeah, it was a little mini Gundy rant for you. All right, how about the National League?
The National League is interesting because, at least at the moment now, correct me if I'm wrong, they may have been added in the last half hour, but a National League All-Star game that does not have Juan Soto or Rafael Devers feels wrong.
Yeah. I want to come back to the Juan Soto thing. We have another All-Star question that we'll get to at the end here. I want to come back to that, but yeah, poor Devers, man. This is really not his year.
It's really not, man. Goodness.
Irby, thoughts?
It's Devers as well. Yeah. I was locked and loaded for Hunter Goodman, but he's there.
Yeah. We're all eternally happy to see Hunter Goodman, despite some issues with the way that the voting works, but yeah, the Rafael Devers thing is a travesty. Okay, so who is the number one guy you want to see in the home run derby? So here are the rules for this. You can pick anyone you want. They absolutely do not have to be in the All-Star game this year. You can just pluck them from anywhere. But they can't have done it before.
Somebody.
Guys, I would encourage you to pick someone who's not on the All-Star roster because it's more interesting. So tell me who you got and why.
These active players, right?
Yeah, active players.
No legacy players.
I don't care if you could pick somebody who's injured, but they do need to be active. Yeah.
Okay. I can't remember a time where I'm going back to Rafael Devers. I can't remember a time he did the Derby. But I would love to see that.
I don't think he's ever done it. I don't know. I feel like I would remember that. I don't think I ever saw him in that, but I could be wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Irby?
Man, that's...
Oh, it's tough.
Yeah. Can I go with James Wood?
Yeah. Yeah, you could.
Oh, wait, no, he's in it. Who's in it? Never mind, sorry.
Oh, is he in it? Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right, he is. He is, yeah.
Dang. Because my initial was O'Neal Cruz. I was like, no, he's in it too. This is a good problem to have.
I know, Derby's loaded this year. It's going to be fun.
Ellie De La Cruz.
Ellie De La Cruz would be good. Mike Trout. No, Mike Trout's done it before.
He's a bum anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, why would you want Boo?
Wait, can we put Nolan Arenado in there?
I'm pretty sure he's done it.
I think he's done it, yeah.
I wanted you guys, see, you're not being very creative here. I don't want you to pick the biggest home run hitters. I wanted you to pick something that would be fun to see.
Oh, okay. Paul Skeens.
There you go. Perfect.
Okay.
Love it.
He'll hit more home runs than his team has hit for him.
That might be true. All right. Well, we will come back to Paul Skeens in a few minutes. Just wanted to quickly touch on this, Bo. You and I think, covered this on this show a really long time ago. Big League Advance, the company that makes loans to minor league players, which they would then pay back out of their major league salaries should they make it to the major leagues. So Fernando Tatis Jr. is suing Big League Advance. He signed a contract with them at the age of 17. So thoughts on this?
Shocked it hasn't happened already.
Okay. Irby?
That is news to me. I didn't realize this. Golly, I got time to process. Why? What? I don't get... No, you don't need to be doing this lawsuit. No.
Yeah, I mean, we did a segment on this a long time ago. I think it was even predates you on this show, actually, or when we first talked about this, I think. And I certainly think this is a predatory practice, and I don't love that they are taking advantage of young ball players. However, you signed a contract. And also, why did Fernando Tatis Jr., son of a major league ball player, need a loan?
True.
I mean, there are a lot of issues here. But, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if this holds up. Because it's definitely what might consider a predatory lending practice, however legal it might be. So, okay.
He needed a loan because his dad said no to the motorcycle.
This is what I'm afraid is the case, is that, like, yeah, it wasn't that you didn't have money to live off of, it's that you wanted, yeah. Okay, so more finance. The Cespedes Ranch, Yoenis Cespedes, his ranch in Florida, where he very infamously stepped into a hole, allegedly while fighting a wild boar. Unsubstantiated, big if true, never resolved. It is now for sale. So I want to know, would you buy the ranch? Would you insist that they include the boar?
Yes, on both counts.
Reed. Irby?
Yeah, that's a deal breaker.
Absolutely. Not doing it without the boar.
Yeah, otherwise it's just a hunk of land. Like, buy that anywhere.
Okay. So let me give you guys a minute to pull this up, if you can. Other than the retired athletes, how many of the people in the celebrity softball game have you heard of?
Oh.
What celebrity softball game?
Is that a zero? Are you just phoning it in and saying your answer is zero?
I have no clue who's in this game.
Okay, well, the Capital One Bank guy, because I see him on every commercial break of every program that I watch now.
Just give me a number. Just give me a number. Just count them and give me a number.
Okay, are we counting former players? Because obviously we know those. So we just
No, former players do not count. I'm going to go ahead and assume you know who the former players are. I'm trying to make a point here. Tell me how many other than the former players. No former players and no athletes, by the way. None of the athletes count.
Dang it! I needed my Olympians.
You cannot count athletes.
3. I know 3 of them.
3?
3.
I'm impressed that you even know that many. I think I'm at 2 because of all I had was, Quavo. I've definitely heard of Quavo.
I have not.
I've definitely heard of Ronnie DeVoe, of Belle Biv DeVoe. And wait, there was one other person that I knew. Oh, Jermaine Dupri. And that might be it. That's all I got.
Michael Kelly. I know that one for certain. And then Storm Reed. I remember her from Euphoria.
I don't know who either of those people are.
I never watched Euphoria, so I don't know her. But I did know. I did know Michael Kelly.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. Oh, and Jake Storiale. I certainly know him.
What about Maria Taylor? Are we counting Maria Taylor because she was one of my 3?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you can count Maria Taylor. She's not technically an athlete. I guess if you can count Jake Storiale, you can count Maria Taylor. So we can count her as well.
Okay.
So,
then you have 3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm at 5 then. Okay. Irby, how many do you have?
4.
Okay. Well, yikes. Celebrity softball game. Would you consider any of these people celebrities?
Yeah, a couple.
Who?
Well, I think Michael Kelly's a celebrity.
I've never even heard of this person, Bo. He's not a celebrity. He's an actor.
But he was on a really popular series.
I've never seen this man.
Wow.
I've literally never seen this man in my life. He is not a celebrity.
Wow.
He's an actor.
I've seen him in 3 high-profile series.
Yeah, never heard of him. I can't argue celebrity for any of these people other than maybe CeCe Sabathia and certainly Terrell Owens.
What about Jimmy Finch?
I bet Javi Lopez is going to love managing this group.
No, nobody who follows baseball knows who Jenny Finch is. Unless you follow baseball, you don't know who that is. But yeah, some of them. Who is young Miko?
No idea.
Who is Wizen? Who is? You said you Storm Reed.
Yeah.
Who is Nikki Cass? It just says he's an influencer. Okay.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm out.
They don't even specify as to what he influences. Just generally vague influencer.
Look,
I don't know.
Look, everyone on this program knows how into softball I am. I'm not watching this game.
Because it's not softball.
It's not softball.
Yeah.
So.
No.
Okay.
Hard pass.
All right. So which mascot would you pick to win the home run derby? Bo, if you say the Fanatic, I'm kicking you off this show forever.
No. I'm going with Orbit.
Orbit?
I'm going with Orbit.
Why Orbit? Why Orbit?
Because he's got I feel like with all that middle section of fluff, there's a lot of torque in there. And he'll be able to really ratchet up a good solid bat speed through the zone.
There you go. Okay. Irby?
Our old buddy Dinger. Literally a dinosaur.
And his name is Digger.
Yeah.
He does have the right name. I'm not really following the logic on the dinosaur part of this. But,
dinosaur power. Just pure power.
Just power?
Yeah.
Okay. I see. I was going to go with Stomper. I figured he'd use his trunk to swing. You know, the trunks are so strong. You know, figured he could get a pretty good barrel on it if he uses the trunk.
Yeah.
All right,
absolutely.
let's talk.
Did Dinger get to use her horn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think as a mascot, you can use any part of you, right? Like, we could have done a whole mascot home run derby. Another opportunity lost. So let's back to Paul Skeens for a minute. Deeply unserious question. Paul Skeens has apparently been spending some time hanging out with the Pirates grounds crew. And he said this was because he found it interesting and he realized he didn't have any hobbies. So he thought maybe he could get into this. Like, the implication being that someday Paul Skeens is going to, like, get into turf grass management after he retires, you know, with, like, several $100 million in baseball salary, which feels unlikely. But if you could pick a hobby for Paul Skeens, what would you pick?
Grounds crew related, or just anything?
No, preferably not grounds crew related, because I'm feeling like this is a really, really stupid thing to pick if you're Paul Skeens.
Oh, I got it. So he needs a new hobby.
Yeah.
The
whole point of this was that he didn't have any hobbies.
Got it. Okay. So, the top of my head, I think he would need to, like, rotate around. Like, I could see him as, like, a roving bartender for these pop-up bars that are, like, pirate ship themed. You could do that.
That's not a hobby. That's a job.
Not if he's not getting paid. Bartending can be a hobby.
Why would anyone want to bartend for free?
I don't know. You're Paul Skeens. You can do whatever you want.
Oh. I'm sorry. That's an incorrect answer. Irby?
Saw that coming. There we go.
We got them all in.
I would love to see that Paul Skeens like moonlights as some, you know, artist, musician, like the oh my gosh, what was Ron Swanson's character's name from Parks and Rec, the saxophone player. Duke,
wait, Ron. He has an alter ego? I don't know.
Yes. Oh, yes. No, just something like that where he plays jazzy saxophone most nights after games, but goes by some name of, you know, Livy Sax. What's Livy Sax? Who's Livy Sax? That's Livy Sax.
I hope this is, like, highly specific, like he only plays Christmas music, or he's trying to become the next Kenny G or something like that.
Yeah.
So I could get into this, especially if it was hyper specific. Yeah, no, I like it. I'm thinking, because we got to give him a hobby. It can't be a sport, right? We don't want to give him another sport. He's trying to get away from that. So I want to put him on the path of, like, some ridiculous research project. Like, he's going to go on a dig and pick up, like, an amphora, like, just pure luck, right? And get super into researching, like, the history of Greek amphora. And that's what he's going to do, right? He will become, like, a amateur archaeologist.
Ooh. I like this.
Travel, you know, and then he can play saxophone at night.
Yeah. He's our new Indiana Jones.
Yeah. To just describe Indiana Jones, or like the many of I'm obsessed with these, like, gentleman explorer figures, you know, and so that's, like, I'm trying to cast Paul Skeens as, like, a modern day gentleman explorer, where, like, they sit in their club by day and they smoke their pipes and they read their books, and then they go out and they go on a dig, and then maybe they play a little saxophone, you know, like maybe he goes on a whaling ship at the end of the year. I don't know. I want this for Paul Skeens. I feel like he could be the new gentleman explorer.
He's one of the first crews that colonizes Mars.
He could be an astronaut. That's true.
That would be great. Like, why isn't he re-signing? He's going to Mars.
Not with Katy Perry, please. Like, serious space missions only. No more Katy Perry and Lauren Sanchez in space. We're saving Skeens for the real mission. Okay, the Nationals have fired several people into space. Actually, notably Mike Rizzo and Davey Martinez. So they obviously have a GM in place. I think the issue with the draft is a bit overblown. I'm sure they knew what they were going to do. They have a long-time employee taking over. But I mean, how do we feel about this? Like, do we think these people needed to be fired, or do we not care, or where are we at on this?
I'm not saying that they did need to be fired. I mean, the Nationals have been kind of existing in a universe where they're just kind of wandering around no man's land for a while now. So I get it.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
the way that it was so sudden. It's almost like it was a quick decision that one probably should have been made this past offseason, frankly.
Yeah, I agree.
But now it's like all of a sudden it's like, bam, okay, we're changing everything up right before. You mentioned the draft. I agree with you. I think it's getting a little overblown. But we got the trade deadline coming up as well. They've got pieces they can sell off. So yeah, like the whole thing just feels rushed, and like somebody just woke up one day, had a bad clam, and said, "I'm going to fire everybody."
Yeah, weird. Well, that's what's weird about it, right? It's like it would have made sense to do this last offseason. It would have made sense to wait and do it next offseason. But what the urgency here seems a bit strange. I mean, even if you ignored the time, even if they did it the day after the trade deadline, I think I'd still be going, well, why are you doing it now? So yeah, it's bizarre and maybe unnecessary in that way. But Irby, well, what do you have to say about this?
Exact same thing of why now? What's going to happen now between this and the end of the season? What is Cairo going to bring to the equation here that changes up, that develops these youth, different over these next couple months? And I go back to the same thing of why not before. I don't understand the midseason at all, unless you truly believed deep down in your own hearts of like, with these kids coming up, we're going to make the playoffs. Are you?
I mean, I get being pissed off at Davey Martinez. He definitely made some comments he should not have made. But I get it. The front office stuff is a little weirder, especially because you're replacing him, with an interim GM in DeBartolo, who's effectively worked for him for a long time. So if you think the system is failing you, I don't know that it's that helpful to have a guy who was operating in concert with the person you fired now making your draft picks and making your deadline decisions. But I don't know. The Nationals move in mysterious ways. All right, last thing before we decide what you guys want to come back to, if anything. The All-Star game, let's just touch on this one more time. I mean, is it time to end the, poverty practice of saying every team needs an All-Star?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't
absolutely.
need this, right? I mean, it's participation trophy. It's ridiculous. If you're bad, you don't deserve an All-Star. So, yeah, I think so too. Irby?
99 times out of 100, yes. I just needed to know, would Hunter Goodman still be there?
Have you seen the field in the national at catcher in the National League? I think Hunter Goodman would still be there. At least he would have had my vote.
He should be the starter.
So, yeah. Yeah, this is what I mean. It's I think you can be on a bad team and still be selected, even if you're not starting, if you are a good and worthy player. And I think Hunter Goodman meets that criteria. I just why is there a White Sox on this team? Why?
Why is there a Kyle Stowers?
Yes, precisely. All right, guys, what do you want to come back to? Anything?
I actually have nothing this week. I'm good.
Irby, what about you?
I weirdly the same. I think we towed the line of getting our extra comments in.
Yeah, that's true.
Too long.
That's true. All right. Well, yeah, everybody said everything they need to say about this. All right, let's talk about something else. This one's not particularly fun, but we got to talk about it. Luis Ortiz
oh boy,
is suspended, non-disciplinary with pay, pending MLB investigation, alleged gambling. So I think it's important just to throw this out there in case you've been living under a rock or you've been on vacation, like Irby, who I'm sure actually does know about this, but maybe you've been on a different kind of vacation. Maybe you're not as quick to catch up.
Go ahead and explain it the way you know it. Yeah.
So Luis Ortiz, oh no, the way you know it scares me. What angle are you coming from, my dude? Okay. So Luis Ortiz is essentially under investigation for two separate pitches, one on June 15th and one on June 27th. They're individual pitches. Both were sliders. Both landed well outside of the strike zone. And there was reportedly a lot of betting action on both of these pitches in New York, New Jersey, and Ohio. So the assumption, of course, then is that if you see that much action on an individual micro bet like that, then you're going to perhaps look into the player. And certainly these pitches well outside the strike zone, the bet would have been either a hit by pitch or a ball. Luis Ortiz throws a lot of balls. I I don't know if he's guilty or not. We've certainly seen in the NBA similar accusations for sort of a fixing of a specific situation in a specific game. We've seen people who have been essentially found guilty and suspended for it or banned, and we've also seen people cleared of these kinds of allegations. So it looks bad. Obviously, the high action on these particular pitches is notable. At the same time, I've seen a lot of people who clearly don't watch a lot of Guardians games being like, yeah, it's really obvious. That was way outside. And my response to that is, hi, have you seen Luis Ortiz at all this season? Because, like, he throws a lot of shit that's nowhere near the strike zone, my guy. Like, this is not that unusual. So it's a little bit hard, I think, without some connection to suggest that he had contact with somebody. And I think that's where what we need here, that just there was action on these pitches isn't really enough for me, because like anybody with eyes and a brain would realize that Ortiz usually misses on the first pitch to the first batter of the inning. That's just a smart bet. But if we end up seeing that he has got some ties to somebody who might be involved in fixing, then that's something a little bit different. So I guess what I want to ask you guys is, like, first of all, like, you know, what do we think about this? Like, do we think, you know, I'm not going to ask you if you think he's guilty, because there's no way to know, really. But, like, if he's guilty, what do you think the punishment should be? And the thing I really want to talk about, though, is, like, the real problem here isn't Luis Ortiz. It's not this. It's that, like, Major League Baseball has gone insane. I mean, you have a huge number of teams whose broadcast rights are owned by FanDuel. That's a gambling outlet, right? You have parks where you allow people to place bets in the park. And by the way, they don't need you to do that. They can just use their phone. So I think the problem here is that micro betting has overrun sports, and this is sort of the natural consequence of that. And before anybody condemns Ortiz too much, I would put it out there that, like, well, yes, this is bad, and yeah, you should be in trouble for it. I think there's some mindfulness about that we don't know what his situation is, what his financial needs are, and the fact that, like, whoever the predatory party here is, it's not the baseball player. And I am not excusing him and saying he should get off scot-free, but I do want to put it out there that I think this sort of requires a bit of not necessarily black and white examination of what the problem is here, because I think the problem is not one idiot who wanted to make some extra money, whatever his reasons might have been. It's that sports gambling, so blame the government, I guess, for legalizing this, but sports betting and the partnership between professional sports and gambling outfits, we're only going to see more of this.
Yeah, first of all, I agree with you. I need a connection before I can find him guilty of anything. I need proof that he talked to somebody who had sway over a significant number of bettors. Same thing. Significant group of bettors. You know, I need that connection.
Well, we're looking for the Chick Gandalf, right? We're looking for the middleman, essentially, who puts you in touch with your Arnold Rothstein.
Yes,
so,
exactly. Yeah, that's who we're looking for. And if you don't find it, then he goes back and he starts playing immediately, and he may have a grievance against the league.
I agree. And I think the Guardians should file a grievance too, because you cost me three starts, and I didn't get anything back for that. So something else to consider. But
And the one thing I would like to add here, and I think we are going to see this, but I want to make it clear here, this has to come up in the next CBA. Has to be addressed.
Yes.
At the very least, baseball and the Players Association have to agree on a tier of punishment in case they do find proof for something like this that's going on. Because, all these prop bets, it's going to happen again. Of course it's going to happen again. And if you can prove it, if you can prove the player is colluding with gamblers, well, we need some sort of a system of punishment? Is it treated like PEDs? First offense is what it was, 80 games for the first offense. Second offense is it's a full year, and so on and so on. You're going to have something like that in place in the next CBA.
Well, right, and I also think like part of the problem is that we need a full discipline structure for this that includes a lot of different scenarios. Because the thing is like, technically we do have a gambling policy, right? And it's that if you are caught gambling on baseball in general, it's a 1-year ban. And if you're caught gambling on games you were involved in, it's a lifetime ban. So, but I don't think that applies here.
Right.
Because what he did didn't change the outcome of the game. It didn't help the opponent and it didn't help the Guardians. So it would be, I think, entirely harsh to say because it was his own team, because he wasn't placing bets and throwing a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's also not like nothing. You know, you're still potentially. I mean, you can't do this, I think is the point, right? Like, if he really did this, you do absolutely have to come down pretty hard on it. But a lifetime ban feels like a little bit much for something that did not and could not affect the outcome of the game.
It's also a pretty easy sale to Ortiz, right? Like, so I just gotta throw the first pitch down and out. That's fine. I do that anyway.
Exactly. Well, I just think with these, especially non-U.S. born players, you just don't know what their situation is. And I think we need to be a little bit sensitive to the fact that it's like sometimes it's a language barrier issue. Sometimes these guys are not fully aware of what they are signing or what they are agreeing to. And sometimes it's just about, well, you might be really desperate for money in a way that people can't understand, even on a major league salary. And Luis Ortiz is not particularly a highly compensated player. But I think it's important to know that there's some pieces to this that we just don't have all the information. And most of all, I think that's about the fact that we don't have the information about whether he even did anything wrong. He might just be a guy with command issues. I mean, we know he's a guy with command issues, right? So we don't know if it goes beyond that.
Agree.
What about you?
Yeah, no. So multiple things to touch on here. One, we've opened Pandora's box in the gambling and the betting, and that we've gotten to these prop bets. We've gotten to we've gotten so far in the weeds of this stuff. You both said it. You think it's bad, it's only going to get worse. Stuff like that. The line will be incredibly interesting to see at the punishment of, well, if he knowingly, again, maybe I should say that first. We need to see conclusive proof here that he actually knew what he was doing and knew, and that actually got paid for it or something like that before an appeal punishment. Right. But again, the punishment, like this is not the same as betting on a game, betting against your team, stuff like that. So, but it'll be interesting because then, okay, well now we're starting to get that bracket of like, well, what is that line?
Right. Exactly.
Where and that's what'll be really fascinating with is like, what is that line when it comes to prop bets? When it comes to this stuff like that of like, well, why is he wearing the wrong helmet? Well, there was a bet out that said that he would wear the wrong helmet. Like, why? Why are we having that? Why do we even have that bet? Don't have that bet. We can clean it up that way.
Where's the line for what's punishable? Because technically, you could have somebody could pay you to put on a different helmet. You know, like
you could have a batter up there. He swung 3 times and struck out. Like, yeah, well, he was getting paid for it. Well, maybe, but he's also up there swinging at pitches.
Well, right. I mean, it's a fail sport. So I don't know how you can say he wouldn't have struck out anyway, or take the helmet example. That doesn't actually change the outcome of the game. So is that bet even on baseball specifically? Or is that just baseball adjacent? How do you handle that? Like if there's a bet on what color the Gatorade is in the cooler that gets dumped on somebody and some player switched it to make a quick buck, is he guilty of like what we would call insider trading or micro betting? Would it even matter because it doesn't impact anything that happens on the field? Like, it's a slippery slope.
But the last bit there is, all right, so this, both times it occurred to the first pitch of the inning?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm half serious, but mostly joking here. Why are we blaming just Luis Ortiz? Why are we not looking at the catcher? Why are we not looking at a coach that says in the dugout or something like that of like, hey, first pitch, I want you to throw it away? Huh? Just way out of the strike zone, throw it away.
Probably for the same reason that we're assuming Luis Ortiz might actually not be guilty, because nobody was set up for a pitch that was 2 feet off the plate. So,
Wouldn't that be the ultimate crime if this, the whole time this is actually the catcher and he's sitting there, is like, holy crap, Luis is getting blamed for this. This is great.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there you go. I mean, right? It was really Bo Naylor all along. Like, just waste one. Just waste one. Like, it's fine.
Trust
It's
me, man, it's
secretly...
going to mess with their psyche. Just throw it way out here. I'm not even going to set up for it. I'm going to set up like normal. I just want you to throw it way out there. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever you say, Bo.
That would be the funniest possible outcome to all of this. And honestly, at this point in time, I think I'd rather lose Bo Naylor than Luis Ortiz based on the way they've been performing. Not that either one of them would be the greatest loss, but yeah, yikes. All right, anything else? Anything else on this before we start getting into insinuating things we don't want to be insinuating about? My poor Guardians have been through enough. They just had a 10-game losing streak, and I think we've lost a player to the vice of gambling. It's been tough out here, man.
It's not even real gambling.
Well, yeah, fake, pretend sort of gambling.
Yeah.
This is like remember that tweet that was like with the torpedo bats, where that guy was like, I hate the torpedo bats do steroids like a man. Like, I feel like now I want to do that with this. Like, look, if you're going to gamble on baseball, then you need to throw the whole freaking game, man. Go whole hog.
Yes.
I don't respect this. Like, either cheat or don't, you know? I want you to commit to this if you're going to do it.
Oh, boy. All right. Irby, how about you? Where are you going to take us this week?
Oh, man. Well, I'm going to have y'all. So, yes, as y'all said, I was on vacation last week. We did some family time up in Colorado, some hiking, some camping, and then visited family and all that. But in there, I got to bucket list and experience a game at Coors Field. Absolutely wonderful experience. And I'm going to keep saying the experience over and over again because the game I went to was last Saturday, July 5th. The Rockies were hosting the White Sox, so the product on the field wasn't so great. But the experience and everything was.
Is that what you're calling it, an experience instead of a baseball game?
There was a game going on, but let's all be honest here.
Was it really baseball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was multiple times I was looking at people and was like, and that's why you are who you are. And that was for both teams. But no, Coors Field, located in downtown Denver, but not really downtown. It's downtown, but it's kind of like the outskirt of downtown. The stadium has that warehouse-style look, and it has that downtown vibe, but also that warehouse vibe. It's a great location, outdoor stadium. I mean, the views just I can't even like even if this was able to post videos and pictures, I wouldn't, because it does no justice to it. Watching a night game, seeing the sunset over the Rocky Mountains, or watching a baseball game, unfortunately time flew. Like it was a particularly quick game, but it went by way too fast because of just enjoying the atmosphere, enjoying the place. We got there early. They have a wonderful place in right field, the upper deck right field. It's called the Rooftop. $3 beers before first pitch every game.
Wow.
Great. Yeah. Open area where you can stand. They have some pergolas on the backside where if you want to go sit down as well, order food, sit with friends. But the standing, you can just interact there, or you can stay there the whole game, whatever you want. Couple bars up there, obviously, for the entire game. But, the $3 before first pitch, myself and one of my wife's cousins were like, well, if y'all going to hang here, we're going to run up there real fast. So wonderful there. Very engaging environment. Like, you don't know that it's a 21-win team. Like, the crowd, everything, it's just it can be amazing when you have a winning baseball team. But it was an engaging environment, even though it's a very bad team. Samantha, I know you comment on this one. Very odd scoreboard. They do have the Rocky Mountains mixed into their scoreboard. It's not so bad during the game. The mountains don't really light up. They're different color, so we get the square scoreboard as usual. Scoreboard was fine. I mean, the only negatives are the scoreboard was fine. It was nice. Definitely a lot of more StatCast related numbers that we could put up there are not there. Only two concourse levels, so that lower level on a night that we went to, it was a fireworks night, got very, very crowded, but it is what it is on a busy game, and most of the time that's not going to be a problem. But the biggest drawback is during the game, not enough Dinger. He was not present between innings enough.
Boo.
Yeah, I very disappointed in that. Dinger showed up for the fireworks in a nice 4th of July Evel Knievel themed onesie. That was like, well, that's a choice. But it looked great, and Dinger did wonderful. The fireworks show and everything, but not enough during the game. Little disappointing in that, but it made up for the amazing views and everything. And like I said, the fireworks show. They don't have that many. I'm assuming that's because it's downtown. That you can't have as many fireworks show, but when they do, it's not just in one section. It's throughout the entire ballpark, all around. There's the main area, but there's also going around the whole area. So, wonderful experience. Would go back. Highly recommend if you've never been to Coors Field. It's a wonderful place to watch a baseball game. And it's one of the last, not one of the last. It's one of those outdoor stadiums that's going to be there a while.
Was the Coors cheaper? Was it kind of like having like you have a well liquor in a bar?
No,
was it the well beer?
It wasn't.
I mean, do they force Coors upon you because Coors is not good? But like, do they force it upon you?
No, there was definitely more opportunities to select a Coors Light or a Coors Banquet.
Oh, see,
there's a lot more of those options, but there's plenty of breweries down there, and those breweries are not located, but their products, their beers are inside the stadium as well. So, pretty good selection. But yeah, Coors. No, it wasn't cheaper. But I did have myself a couple Coors Banquets.
See. Good for you, because I feel like that's exactly what I would do. If I ever find myself at Coors Field, I'm going to have a series of banquets. Just feels appropriate.
Yeah. It was the easiest decision there. Food-wise, food was great. I mean, food was fine. Like, it wasn't anything to knock out of the ballpark, pun intended there. It was just like, oh, this is good. Like, this is good ballpark, but nothing too crazy that I saw. One of my sons got a pepperoni pizza. He was very happy with that. The other was good with his pretzel. They did have mustache pretzels, so that was kind of cool. But he was good with his pretzels and his cotton candy.
Anything egregious, like a 12-foot long burrito the shape of Dinger's horn?
No, a dinosaur horn. Yeah, we're eating a dinosaur. Not that I saw, but I wasn't. It was odd. Like, I did note that to myself to pay attention to the food, but when I was walking around, I really wasn't. Like, I was focused on the atmosphere. You could always see the field. It felt like from the concourse, like it didn't feel like you were too far away. It definitely felt like you were outside all the time. We took the rail and then walked a few blocks there. Got rained on a little bit, but not bad because it's Denver. Once the rain's gone, you're like, okay, it feels wonderful. It's like 72 degrees with a light breeze. Yes, please. Like, this is amazing. Instead of a sticky rain or anything like that. So I just, like, the best way to say it is, like, I felt like I was at a baseball game. I felt like I was at a baseball field. And that's what was wonderful about the environment there.
May I ask some questions?
Yes.
Okay, so I have been there, but it's been like 10 years, so I'm not sure. It's been long enough that I think there might be a lot of things that are different. So first of all, first question, did you get altitude sickness?
No, but this is at the end of the vacation, so we had already been 10,000 feet in the mountains. So
I gotcha. Okay. Did they have any good Dinger-related souvenirs in their gift shop?
I can remember plushie toys. I can remember hats. Unfortunately, the big push when we're going around was the new City Connect jerseys that I'm just not a big fan of. I wish they would just stay. They don't. So their old City Connects, the greens, don't sell them anymore. Couldn't find anything. It's all the new ones now. Didn't love that, but nothing too crazy on the Dinger stuff that I saw. I'm
sorry, but the fact that they don't sell like a Triceratops rough, with a horn that you can put on your own head and wear is a crime. Straight to jail. Okay, so I have one other question. What did you think of the area around the ballpark?
It was interesting. So when we took the rail, it dropped us off downtown Denver, and we had to walk from there to the. It's not the most accessible area, parking-wise and traffic-wise. I mean, Denver already doesn't have the greatest of traffic. I mean, it's better in Colorado Springs, which is just hell. But I don't. It's interesting how when coming from downtown, like you're obvious you feel in downtown, and then suddenly, boom, it's almost like the restaurants became less stories. Like everything went from multi-story down to only 2-story buildings, and suddenly it became a lot more open, which was wonderful coming from that angle. Like I suddenly felt like, okay, there's a bunch of bars and restaurants around here within 2 blocks of the stadium, and it became open. I can see the air, I can see the sky and everything. I'm no longer in a downtown area, and I think that's what was great about the location of it, is that you feel like, yes, this is downtown Denver, but it doesn't feel like it's downtown, like when we would use the word downtown.
Yeah, that's, I'm trying to think. I never thought about this before, but I can't think of a single ballpark I've ever been to that is like surrounded by skyscrapers. They're almost always out at the edges, and I think you just kind of landed on why. Because nobody wants to go to a ball game next to a skyscraper, right? You want bars and little shops and like kind of an area that's a little bit more, let's say, mosey around friendly. And also I'm sure they don't want to give free day games to everybody working in the adjacent office building. All people like me would get nothing done because they would just sit there staring out their window anytime there was a game on during the day. But get you little binoculars, look out your office window. That's what I would do. But yeah, I mean, I think that's interesting. I just never really thought about it in that specific way before, that most parks, even when they are technically downtown, are not in the skyscraperiest, if I might be allowed to coin a new word, parts of downtown. So that's interesting observation there. So, well, thank you for that. Okay, and Irby, then tell us, okay, so what is next on your list? I don't know. Bo, you've got a lot. I've talked about how I think I have 6 left that I haven't seen. But Irby, I want to know what's next on your list. What is the next park you want to hit?
At some point, it's and maybe I just need to rip the Band-Aid and such, because there's trainings in the area. I got to come your way, and I need to go to Fenway.
I mean, that would be my personal preference, because then I would get to go to a ball game with you, and Fenway is worth seeing. Let me tell you, it is a weird and delightful place to see a ball game. You will not be disappointed. Fans are wonderful. Think you'll love it. So yes, selfishly, I encourage you to pick Fenway next. That would be ideal.
We'll make this work. Awesome. Yeah, but yes, so anyway, Coors Field, if you haven't been there, absolutely recommend. Wonderful place.
Awesome.
Just don't go watch the Rockies play the White Sox. That would be the only thing that would keep it. Like, I can't give it 4.5 stars. Why? Oh, they were playing the White Sox. Well, then go a different day. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a little funny. I enjoy well, why not? If you're going to go have to see the Rockies, right? Rather than just see someone beat them up, watch them play the other bad team. Why not? Yeah. No, I like that. Well,
what was fun is the game we went to, the White Sox scored 2 in the top of the first, and the Rockies responded with 2. And then Chicago scored 3 in the top of the second. And I'm looking around going, I am totally down for a 19-15 baseball game right now. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's get a football score up here or something. Come on. But unfortunately, Colorado forgot how to score after that.
Oh, there's bad and there's bad, right?
Yeah.
The White Sox are bad, and the Rockies are something else entirely.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that was the one. The other one, kind of, you guys mentioned the moving on the Nationals have done this week with Davey Martinez and everything, but I kind of got this based upon, earlier today, on our other side of the pond, the out of nowhere sacking of Christian Horner, the team principal for the Red Bull Formula One team. 20 years there, and then boom, he's gone. And there's logical reasons and everything for that, and there's, why he was let go. But the timing is very odd. And so that got me going on here of like, hey, since we're going to just fire people randomly, stuff like that, logical reason or not, I'm going to give you mine, and then I'll give you all. It's like, who do you want fired? Baseball manager, coach,
Cool.
somebody. Who do you just want fired? Like out of nowhere, just fired. And I had my list, and I'm sorry, but since it's my segment, I get to do two because, and you guys do too. It's okay as well. My first one is Alex Zumwalt. He's the Royals hitting coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was drafted as an outfielder and played as an outfielder from 99 to 2001. After that, he became a relief pitcher and then had a 9-year career as a relief pitcher in the minors. Why the hell is your hitting coach a relief pitcher, Kansas City? Fire the man. This is ridiculous. Wonder why you have one of the worst offenses in baseball.
It's valid.
You have a relief pitcher as your hitting coach.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, the more important one, is the Mets bench coach, John Gibbons. I want fired just because F. John Gibbons.
Agreed.
Yes. Yes. God, he's still around? Wow.
I know. I was shocked too, and I was like, "What are you? Come on, Mets." No wonder you're
No,
Mets.
you know what this is, don't you? Vampires. You gotta cut off the head and burn the body. They will never leave. They will never leave.
All right, Samantha, why don't you go next? Who are you firing?
All right. Obviously, at the top of my list is Craig Counsell because his very existence makes me want to die. So he's got to go. Absolutely. Everyone on the Pirates coaching staff goes. Everyone. Every single person. I'm sorry, Derek Shelton. We had a reasonably decent time when you were the pitching coach in Cleveland, but I'm sorry. You all have to go. Every one of you. Like, we're not getting into the front office here because it's not what we're doing today. But, like, everyone goes. Anyone who's in charge of anything there has to go. Like, just horrendous. So
That could be a schemes as a hobby. He could be a manager as well.
he could be the manager. That's true. Maybe, since now his hobbies do have to be baseball related because he's kind of busy, he could start with that one. More time.
Manage in between.
I'll stop now because I could go on forever. I could give you like 10 more. It's not my segment, so I'll just stop there. Just let me have Craig Counsell, and I'll be fine.
I can have Gibbons. You can have Counsell.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the league will be so much better off after we've done our work.
That's fair. That's fair. You know who I'm firing? Brandon McDaniel, the strength and conditioning coach for the Dodgers. Clearly can't do his job. Clearly incompetent. Like, no. Bye-bye. You're in L.A. You got bodybuilders everywhere. Get somebody in there that's good. Jeez.
It's just very funny to me that in Los Angeles, where everyone's trainer has a trainer,
Right?
they couldn't find somebody who didn't get all the players landed on the IL.
When you lie on your resume.
Yeah.
Half serious question, though. Do you fire Aaron Boone?
No. I'm so tired of this. There's so many things wrong with them, and none of them are Aaron Boone. It's so dumb. Like, Yankee fans, like, go yell at a wall. I don't want to hear it. You do this every
Oh, they are.
I don't want to hear it. Like,
They're yelling at their wall. The problem is they're yelling so loud it's coming off the wall and into my ears.
yeah, can you just stop yelling at the rest of us? We don't care. We don't need to hear this from you every year. We know the script. Like, have a swoon in June and July, completely panic. Talk about how bad Aaron Boone is. Demand Aaron Boone be fired. Demand Cashman be fired. Resurrect self in time for playoffs. Temporary peace. Rinse, repeat. I'm so tired of you. You're so boring. You're so boring.
All right, Irby, anything else on this one?
No, that's it. Comment, please, folks. Listen, give us who's your person you want fired, just randomly. And again, logical explanation is optional. You don't have to explain.
We're going to get so many people who are like it's all going to be, I want to fire my own team's hitting coach. It's just going to be a whole list of, I know exactly how this is going to go. Let's see if I'm right.
See, we're one of the few teams, even though we're not hitting. I like our hitting coach now. Well, now that we have a hitting coach and not an offensive coordinator.
No, you're missing the point. Everyone blames the hitting coach for everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can bring that logic here. That has no effect on the answers.
Also,
don't come here with your logic. Don't do it.
Also worth noting, the Rangers have a hitting coach by committee. Let's not forget that. It's 3 hitting coaches.
Well, you used to have an offensive coordinator. So.
Yeah.
You guys are like we should fire you for terminology. Like, not you personally, but like your team collectively should be fired for not understanding how words work. Offensive coordinator. What sport do you think this is?
I think they finally did fire him.
They did.
They fired him so they would no longer have to explain why they had an offensive coordinator.
Why do y'all
being a baseball team now?
Jerry told us we had him. No, we're not going to that.
All right, well, speaking of those Yankees, we got to talk about this. I want to approach it from this direction for both of you guys, the Yankees and the Blue Jays. They're a part of this conversation. Samantha, let's kick it off with this. Which do you think is the closest to being reality? The Yankees falling on their face or the Blue Jays skyrocketing the last 3 weeks? Which feels more real?
Okay, the answer is neither of them is real.
Sure. Which was more real?
But if I have to pick, I'll pick A, because the Yankees can fall on their face. They do it frequently, and they will get back up again. But I'm not buying the Blue Jays. I'm sorry. I just don't buy it. No.
All right, Irby, same question to you. Which of these feels more real?
Can I say neither?
I tried that.
No. That's why I said more real.
More real.
Which one is the closest to reality? Neither one is reality. We can all agree on that. Which one is the closest?
The Yankees are always furthest from reality for me.
Not a bad way of going about it. Okay.
They certainly are the most out of touch with reality. That is an excellent point. I failed to think about it that way. That is valid.
Well, I mean, look, this is the midsummer swoon. The Yankees have it every year. Samantha, you just alluded to that, right? Every year,
yeah.
they go through this. So I guess here's another question for you. How long is the Blue Jays, I guess, honeymoon period here? Cup of coffee, whatever you want to call it. How long before they come back to earth?
Well, so expiration date wise, I think we're not talking like something super delicate here, like raspberries, where like it's going to rot in 3 days. Mm-hmm. But I do think we're talking like carton of eggs, right? It's going to, by the All-Star break, I think when they come back from the break, we're going to be looking at something real different.
Yeah. Irby, how about you?
You know, it is easier when you're playing the White Sox. Although they did lose to the White Sox today, so I shouldn't say too much.
They did.
That's because Ernie Clement wasn't in the lineup.
This is true. I really want to buy this. I really want this to go. In Max, we trust, right? Like. Scherzer,
yeah.
Scherzer can hold this. Even Scherzer can stave off George Springer, right? Come on. The power of Scherzer and bowling ball. Max and bowling ball. Sounds like a show, but no. I come on, Blue Jays, actually pull it off. Yeah,
I want to root for them because they have the bowling ball, and they have Max, and they have Ernie, and they have Miles Straw. But they're still the Blue Jays, and historically, I have some issues here. But better than the Yankees, right? Better than the Yankees? Like, it was less annoying.
You know what? I'm not going down that road with you. I am not on Team Blue Jay here. No.
Oh, is this like just the known enemy? Like, I'd rather just have it be the Yankees again because I'm used to that, as opposed to like a whole new problem, which is the Blue Jays.
Yes.
Is that where you're coming from?
Well, kind of. Yeah. Kind of. That's kind of part of it, but I've also got a lot of bad blood with the Blue Jays personally, so I don't really have the same bad blood with the Yankees that I have with the Blue Jays.
Oh, see, we have a lot more bad. We have a little bit of bad blood with the Blue Jays. We have a lot of bad blood with the Yankees.
Right.
Like a lot. So, yeah, no, I can understand that. That makes sense to me. Mostly, I just hope neither one of them, the answer is none of you. like isn't just like from a rooting interest perspective, then my choice is none of you. My choice is I hope the Red Sox come back and take it from both of you. Can I do that?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Like, I hate you both. Like, ew.
You know what the funny thing is because of this, if these two keep winning like this and everybody keeps winning, Baltimore's going to justify it. Like, see, we're really not bad. They're just better. No,
Yeah,
bad.
The division was really competitive this year. No, you suck.
Yeah. You sucked. No, it was a fluke. Okay.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, anything else here on those Yankees and Blue Jays that I didn't cover? Anything you want to chat about?
Oh, well, just real quickly, Tampa Bay's only one game behind the Yankees. Like, do you consider them participation, or are you just like, LOL, Tampa Bay? No.
See, you know
that's kind of how I feel about it.
I mean, honestly, for me, it's LOL about both Tampa and Toronto. I view them the same.
I agree. I don't believe in either one of you. I think the Yankees are going to be fine, and none of us will even remember that this happened. That's what I think is going to happen. By the end of the year, I don't even know if either one of you will be in the wild card race. The Yankees will win the division. If you ask me about this 5 years from now, I'd be like, say what now? The Blue Jays did what? Like, I remember this.
We won 10 games in a row. Yes, but did you do it when it mattered?
Well, yeah.
All right. Well, one more thing before we call it a week. Let's have fun. I'm going to deem each of us MLB commissioner, and you get 3 moves. Okay? There are 3 things. We'll do up to 3 things. You cannot have more than 3. You can have less than 3. But up to 3 things that you would do if you were suddenly baseball's commissioner. Okay? I'll kick us off. It is All-Star Week coming up, right? All-Star Week is next week. I would actually make All-Star Week an actual week. Everyone's off Monday through Sunday. Mix in some additional activities at the All-Star game itself. But for the most part, give the players a full week off in the middle of the season.
Yeah, I support this.
You know? Second on my list,
Yeah.
I'm going to borrow from our lovely friends over in the college game. I want a transfer portal for mascots.
I want to be in charge of that. If there's a dream job, it's that.
Transfer portal.
I want to be the person who physically escorts the mascot
Dinger.
to their new.
If you're tired of having a really awful baseball team like Dinger, you can just hit that transfer portal and go wherever the money takes you.
Love it.
And last, but certainly not least, I would institute a penalty structure for really shitty umpires.
Yeah.
And you know what? And I'm not talking about the ones that just miss a call here and there. I mean, if you are egregious with your calling at the plate, or, and this is one that really I want to zero in on, if you are notorious for creating an up show, penalty time. You get suspensions and fines, and gradually you are thrown out of the game if you don't straighten up.
I like it. I think we need this. It's the show part of it in particular for me. Because that is what is 100% preventable by any living person. Not making yourself the center of attention in a situation where you don't deserve to be. 100% preventable in all cases.
Yep.
Yes.
That's it. If you've got a quick trigger, you're out.
Love it.
So, those were my 3. Samantha, you have up to 3. What are you doing?
Boy, it's so hard to only pick 3, but I think I can do it. Okay, first of all, I'm vacating the 2017 World Series. It did not happen.
Ooh.
There is no winner.
There you go. Bye-bye.
Worst thing on the docket.
Bye-bye.
Number 2, Ghost Runner, Manfred Man, whatever you want to call it. It sucks. It's terrible. Goodbye.
Nice. Yes.
Number 3, Slide Rule. It sucks. It's terrible. Goodbye.
Wow. Bam, bam, back. A Paul Skeens top of the first. Boom. Over.
But now Paul and I can go dig up some urns. See how quickly we got that done?
All right. I agree wholeheartedly with every single one of them. Yes. Especially after the week the Rangers have had in extra inning games. My God. All right. Irby, how about you?
I'm quickly trying to get a third because Samantha, you had 2 of my 3.
Oh no!
But
Was it the first 2?
Yes. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say the 20. Yes, the World Series again has been vacated. Sorry, Astros, you only have 1 now. Just throw that in my universe as well. Just 2 of us here, we're safe. We're that much closer to making it real.
Yep.
Bo, your All-Star weekend. I love that idea of making it an All-Star week. Yes, love the break and everything for everybody. I'd like to add more to the showcase as well. Showcasing talent more, the draft, even some youth games as well. Just an entire week of stuff. I'm also a big one of having the skills game as well. I hate that baseball does the home run derby. Yes, that's awesome. I've preached this many times of the quickest person to run around the bases. How much fun we'd have there. Put guys in center field, put a target at home plate, number of points who can put it in a barrel, something like that. Like steps like that. Just showcasing the skills of the players that we watch every day.
Yeah, I like it. It's
Yep.
sort of I like the idea of doing like a sort of a week where we are just like setting baseball and celebrating all things baseball. I like it.
Yep. And then I guess my last one. Milwaukee, Houston, y'all are switching places back. This is the stupidest thing ever.
Yes.
Why the hell did we do that? Milwaukee was an AL team, Houston was an NL team. Why did we do that in the first place? Switching them back.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I don't really want either one of them anywhere near me, but like, yes, I agree. They just it never sunk in. They never feel like they're in the right place. I agree.
If memory serves, that was a Tom Hicks gift. If memory serves, one last little FU from the worst owner the team ever had.
Yep. Sounds all right.
Yeah,
let's switch that back. Fix that one.
All right. Well, Samantha, anything you want to add here before we call it a week?
No. I'm ready for All-Star Week. I'm ready to sweep the Astros, which the Guardians are hopefully going to do tonight as we record.
Got my vote.
And I am ready to get rid of the Blue Jays and the Rays and all of these teams that don't need to be there. They're in our way.
Yeah.
Guardians people, Rangers people. I mean, nothing against you if you're a fan of those teams. Well, a little bit against you if you're a fan of those teams, actually, but not as much as if you were a fan of, say, a team you really hate. So this is not a subjective show. If you're new here, if you haven't figured that out. We don't promise objectivity in most cases. But, yeah, it's time. It is time. The wild card race is not over. Let's make some things happen. Come on, guys.
Yeah. Yep. Big second half coming.
That's right.
Irby, how about you?
Yeah.
Anything you want to toss on the fire before we call it a week?
No. I have a good week. I'm going to go on another vacation.
He's going back on vacation. I am still on vacation. Bo, what is going on, man?
I don't know. I'm not on vacation at all. Like,
I feel like you need to do something about this.
well, look. I'm going next weekend. I'm going the professional softball league is in Round Rock. I'm going to one of the games there and going to a Rangers game at the end of the month. But I mean, come on. I'm not. That's all I got.
It's a step in the right direction, but like you have to leave the area. Have to leave the area on vacation. I have an extra room. I mean, it's a lovely beach right here. I'm just saying. If you guys want to come by,
I'll see what I can do.
It's a little far away, but I feel like you can find your way there.
It's not that bad.
By plane, it's not that far of a by plane. It's not that far. So, just saying. If you want to come by.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, wherever you're listening to Lollygagging Sports, give us a like, subscribe to the show, help us out with that algorithm so we can get some more lollygaggers in here. But for this week, we're done. We're out of here. Until next week, watch some baseball. It's good for you. no